My music is for people that love big voices, people that love good lyrics and good messages. With my voice especially, a lot of people are like, we don't know what this is. Like, what are you? I always had a lot of comments about my lips. I would have had a lot of comments about my big hair. It was all messy and people being like, go in this tiny box, and I was like, no.
SK Vibemaker.
SK Vibemaker. My interviews are hotter. You know we bring through the best special guests. We are not changing tradition anytime soon. We are on the rooftops of East London, and we have a very special guest. Her name is Olympia Vitalis. What's happening?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to have you here, man. You are a talent that I think that if people don't know already, they need to get to know.
Thank you.
I mean, the vocal ability, the songwriting. I know you spent 7 years in the gospel choir as well as a youngster. Give them a brief into the musical journey thus far for those that need to know.
So I was in gospel when I was like 11 until I was about 18, and then I started making my own music when I was about 19, 20, and I've been working ever since, really.
You make it sound so simple.
Nah, it's not simple.
What type of artist? I mean, it's easy to say you're a soul artist.
Yeah.
I think some people understand what a soul artist is, but kind of give them the definition of you being a soul artist, what that means.
I think soul, primarily artists come from gospel backgrounds, like Jasmine Sullivan type artists. And I think that soul messages are generally a little bit more socio-political or a bit more, on the less on the side of love. Even though I do write music like that, I'm more on the side of bigger messages. But that's how I've taken my approach to my soul music. But, you know, some of the best soul artists have written the best love music. So,
Do you think you could be a soul artist and not be political?
No, I don't.
No. Who would you say are like some of the biggest soul artists now?
I think Cleo Soul's up there for me in the UK. I think I don't know. Like I don't really think we've got a lot of soul artists right now at the moment. I think a lot of artists are very R&B heavy. I think Maverick Sabre for me is a massive soul artist, and he's one of my biggest inspirations. And he is the definition of big messages and big voice.
I think a lot of people get the lines blurred between R&B and soul music.
Massively.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for me as well. Like, because I've been often pigeonholed into this R&B space, and I think it's quite reductive. I think maybe it's the way that I look, maybe it's the way that I sound, I don't know, but I'm not traditionally an R&B artist. I don't talk about traditional R&B subjects, so I'm quite intent on calling myself a soul artist until people get that.
Saying we're not going to get them turn up lyrics from, you know, Olympia anytime soon, you know what I'm saying?
So my label's like, we need a hit. And then I'm like, all right, yeah.
Is them conversations had like sometimes like, can we get a little bit more like, you know, R&B leaning, you know, sound a little bit more like a Scissor or a Summer Walker or something like that?
Because they know I'd just be like, shut up. But I do think there's a conversation to be had about having not your whole discography so heavy and having those more relaxed and chilled out and lovely songs. They're an art in themselves to be able to create them. So
Olympia Vitalis in the building. It's Vitalis, not Vitalis.
Vitalis, yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's what I think anyway, yeah. I'm not sure.
That's what you think?
My dad says
it's
Vitalis,
your name.
but my mum says Vitalis.
Oh, really?
So I don't actually know.
Oh, so you accept both then?
No, I like Vitalis. But I think I wanna get rid of the last name.
Okay, and just be Olympia.
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't really told anyone that.
It might be a bit troublesome when it comes to Google search engine searching, because just searching Olympia.
What, you just search Adele?
Yeah, but all right, respectfully, like Adele is Adele though, innit? Like I feel like she's gonna be high in the search engine searches, innit?
Yeah, but what other artists do you know called Olympia?
But like you might get like something come up like Olympia as in like there's a place, you know, you're from like West London
I live in Olympia,
like there's Olympia the place and things like
or
that.
Or like Mr. Olympia, the bodybuilders.
Exactly, you get my gist.
But I hope that one day I'll be pretty big,
the Olympia,
like Adele.
Yeah. I'm not saying you can't be, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm just saying that like Adele, she's got like the track record, she's got the bangers, the hits.
Yeah, no,
I don't know if Adele actually describes her songs as bangers. Actually,
I don't think most artists do.
Oh, you're saying it's an old school term now?
No. But would an artist walk around and be like, oh no, I've just written an absolute banger?
I've heard artists saying that.
Have you?
I actually have. Yeah.
I'm a bit too humble for that.
Hey. So I think with you, one thing that's very distinctive of many is that you have this very distinctive voice. You know what I mean? Like the vocal ability, the songwriting, it's all there. But everyone doesn't have that distinctive vocal ability. How does one cultivate that? Is this something that you had to coach, or did it just come naturally? Or
if I'm being totally honest, like I've always had it. I think being and doing gospel and singing jazz standards for 6-7 years really helped me to like understand improvisation and scatting. But I just kind of always had this, which is why I'm pretty intent on like being really good at songwriting, because you develop that and you improve that, and your voice you can always improve, you can always strengthen, but to some extent I was just born with it. And
straight.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, talk about developing the songwriting pen then, because you are both a singer and a songwriter. Every vocalist or singer isn't, you know, a songwriter.
Yeah.
There's a lot of co-writing. Some singers don't even write anything. Like some of the greatest singers don't write anything. Michael Jackson hardly wrote anything. You know what I mean? Rihanna hardly writes anything. And there's many other artists that we can go through and talk about. But talk about, you know, sharpening this songwriting pen.
Look, my favorite artists are the best songwriters in the world. Like Amy Winehouse is my biggest inspiration, and she's one of the best songwriters to ever come out of this world, like in my opinion. So I want to be able to have that ability. I want to be able to write my own songs. I love collaborating with people. I'll always collaborate with amazing songwriters. Like I've worked with Mav before and stuff like that. But I want to be known for my writing, man. My voice is always going to be there. My writing will need to get better.
But being known for your writing is one thing, and I feel like there are some songwriters that are known for their songwriting. But how do you actually cultivate and sharpen?
You just got to put your 10,000 hours in. You've got to turn up every day. I had a chat with Maverick Sabre about this last week, and he was just like, you just have to show up. And I think it's really, really easy to get like bogged down by it, because I don't come from a musical background. I don't come from Brit. Do you know what I mean? Like all my mates work in banking. Like
You're saying you didn't study music?
I didn't study music at all. So when I first started getting into sessions, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like I don't have the background for this. And so you have to put in the hours, and you have to show up when you don't want to, and hopefully you just get better.
With your music, you will definitely hear the British voice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This
I
is
like
something that can't be understated as well. There are, I feel like, a minority of British soul or R&B vocalists that have that British voice. How important is it for you?
It's so important. I'm from London. I love where I'm from. I love the people that come from here, and I can't say that I love Britain right now. I think it's a bit of a hellhole, but but I do love the culture that comes with being from London and being from a city. And Amy was so unapologetically British, and the words that she used were so British, and I want to do that as well.
Speaking of Amy, you've mentioned her a few times. I know like she's like your number one artist.
She is.
I heard that you used to see her in St. Lucia. I know she used to spend time out there. So
Yeah.
what was that like, seeing Amy Winehouse in St. Lucia? Did you just see her from afar, or did you have any conversations with her?
She was living there for like 9 months, you know, and this was like back in like 2009 or something, 2008, when she was just starting to get better. She literally went out there for almost like a rehab, just went cold turkey, and I used to see her all the time. She used to ride bareback on the horses, and it was so mad. She headlined St. Lucia Jazz Festival as well, and it was crazy. You know, like, I don't know who your favourite artist is, but when you see them in the flesh, you're like, oh man, you're not a god, like you're real. I had that. I remember exactly where I was. I was in St. Lucia when I found out she died, and yeah, she's everything to me. Absolutely everything to me.
I like to talk about lines when it comes to, you know, songwriters like yourself, and you know, we definitely played Angel's Patience. You know what I mean? When we're talking about Angel's Patience, you got the lines where you say even angels lose their patience.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's quite a deep line.
Thank
you know,
you.
kind of expand on that and what you meant by that line when you was making that song.
So the song's about a couple that I'm very close to, and I've grown up experiencing and reacting to their relationship over my years. That's all I'll say about the couple.
Say no more. Yeah.
And the female member of that couple is the most perfect angel ever, and everyone reaches their limits.
Say no more. Deeper ones.
Yeah.
You also got the line where you say, you stoop low and get me so high.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, on Angel's
Love a
Patience.
bit of juxtaposition.
Yeah. That's bars as well.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? That's bars.
Well, I like study rap, man. Like, I've got Music Match on Spotify. Every single song I'm listening to, I'm reading the lyrics.
Oh, for real? Is that what you do? Yeah.
Yeah. Obsessive about lyrics.
So do you think that, like, when it comes to lyricism, do you think that we have to research the lyricism, or should we not, like, you know, hear it and dissect it ourselves?
No, I don't think and you don't have to research it if you don't want to, but I love lyrics. And I love, like, artists like Nas. I love Conway. I love Jid. Oh my God, I think Jid is one of the craziest wordplay artists ever. And I'm just obsessed about lyrics. Some people don't care. I've been in sessions and producers are literally like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't really care as long as the melody is right, and that's fine. But for me, I need to know the lyrics.
Shouts to JID. I know he's just released his album, and Conway, I definitely interviewed him last week. And
Did
I
you?
interviewed JID a few years back.
You interviewed Conway last week?
Yeah, last week, man. I interviewed
What?
last week. Yeah, Conway the Machine. Yeah, you talk about Conway
He's
the Machine from
perfect.
Griselda.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any rapper that's perfect, but I
He
think
is.
Conway is definitely a serious guy.
I saw.
What is it about Conway that you like?
Oh man, Machina. Is it Machina? That
Yeah.
album. That's one of the most.
La Machina.
La Machina is
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
the craziest albums. I also just love everyone coming from that side. I love Freddie Gibbs. I saw Benny the Butcher and Westside Gunn last week at
Yeah.
Jazz Cafe Festival. Yeah, man, Griselda.
I think it's the soul that you like, the soul productions as well. Innit?
And I love
Obviously,
Alchemist
They're
so
greasy.
much.
They're greasy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
what's so funny as well is I'm from Fulham, pretty, like, I'm comfortable, middle class, like, my mum's white.
Oh.
Yeah, like, I'm all right. But I'm there, like, going hard in these Griselda runs. It's just like, Conway's been shot in the face, and I'm just like, yeah.
So this brings me to the point where I've been speaking to a lot of artists recently about the numbers. And when we talk about the numbers, we're talking about those numbers you can see on your digital streaming platforms, on YouTube, the numbers that are, like, very much promoted by the PR companies, the labels, the managers, the artists. And it's at a time where you can see the numbers a lot. Maybe like 15 years ago, you couldn't see the numbers. It was record sales and it was very much an industry thing. But these numbers, they're very much promoted and to kind of, I don't know, dupe people into believing that things are bigger than what they are. And the songs with the biggest numbers are the best things since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Now, how much of a correlation do you feel like there is between numbers and how good a song actually is?
I don't think there's any correlation, if I'm being totally honest. I've found the craziest deep cuts from my favourite artists back in the day that have 60,000 streams on Spotify. I mean, you've got to care about numbers, especially as an emerging artist, because they're signifiers into how many people are listening and if there's any engagement in your music. But I'm not here to be chained to numbers. Yeah.
Do you ever feel any pressure by those numbers to deliver numbers?
Yeah,
the numbers
massively.
game? Oh, you do?
Look, ultimately, like, I'm not going to sign a deal. I'm not going to get any money. I'm not going to be able to do this for a full-time job if my numbers aren't going up. And I'm aware of that. This is a business as well. Like, it's not just a little passion project. So I'm aware of it, but I'm not going to be a slave to numbers and
Straight
algorithms. Do you know what I mean?
So I want to talk to you about the fact that, like, your music, very soulful. I love it. A lot of people love it. A lot of people are discovering it. But then there's going to be arguments that an artist like you is quite niche.
I've heard that before, yeah.
The conversation emerges, how much are you willing to compromise to gain a bigger audience, whether it's the production or whether it's the artists you associate with or the sounds or genres that you play around with?
That's a good question. I'm not really willing to compromise, not on my music. And especially not on the people that I associate with. If people don't like it, that's cool. I don't like a lot of artists. I don't think they take it personally. I'm only just one listener. So I'm not going to compromise. I will always be aware that not everyone is going to want crazy production, and some people do love ballads, and I love writing ballads, and I'll write a love ballad if I need to, but I'm always going to write mine, not going to write someone else's.
If somebody asks you, well, I'm going to ask you now, in fact, like, who is Olympia Vitalis's music for?
Mad. Come in with the questions. My music is for people that love big voices, people that love good lyrics and good messages. and thought-provoking music. I think it's not lazy listening, I don't think.
So your track Curls,
Yeah,
it's quite a deep song. Before I get forensically into it, like, what do you want people to take from the song?
I think that the song is for people that are mixed race. I think that growing up, I have a white mum, and traditionally speaking, if you've got a white mum and you're mixed race, your hair is not going to be as good as if you have a black mum. All my black cousins, like with their black mum, like they had beautiful braids, they had beautiful cornrows, their hair was always intact. I used to rock around, my hair looked like I walked out a bush, like, and it was only until I was about 19, 20 where I had to learn how to deal with my own hair, because my mum's she's from the Cotswolds, like she hasn't got a clue. So I kind of was brought up in a very white environment. I wasn't brought up with my dad, so all my cousins, my aunts, everyone was white, so I was just like a bit of an odd one out, and that's kind of where Curls came from, and not really understanding my blackness and then starting to appreciate it. Interesting,
because I want to focus on the line where you said, how would you like me to look?
Yeah.
Is it up to your standards in your big white book? Again, there's lyricism there, like I take something from that, but expound on that line.
I always had a lot of comments about my lips. I would have had a lot of comments about my big hair. It was all messy, and I used to have like chats with people. I remember being in St. Lucia and I was chatting to this couple, and I basically found out that they were like UKIP party members, but I didn't know that when I got into the conversation. And they were like, did you go to this school? And I was like, yeah, I did. And they couldn't, because it was quite a good school. And they were like, what? You went to this school? And I was like, me and my little jorts in St. Lucia looking like, do you know what I mean? And they just couldn't believe it. And I was just like, well, how would you like me to look for me to be able to go to that school?
UKIP is like, explain, like, UKIP's right wing?
UKIP is incredibly right wing. Yeah. UKIP's not a thing anymore now, though. It's Nigel Farage's Reform Party.
Yeah.
But UKIP is like, is very right wing political party that basically got us through Brexit, and they like pushed Brexit, and that's how Brexit happened.
It's the same stance as Red and Donald Trump in the States, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, but I'd say part and parcel. Yeah, they're mates, Farage and Trump.
There you go.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So your song Curls is basically talking about beauty standards, as well. And I've been speaking for quite a few years with a lot of female artists about what it's like to be in the music industry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like there's pressures to be very glam, to have body surgery, standards which aren't on the male counterparts.
Yeah.
Have you felt any of those pressures? Have you seen any of your counterparts have any of those pressures? How do you deal with them, or what's your advice in dealing with those pressures?
For me personally, that's a really good question as well. Thank you for asking that. I think like, for me, I've struggled a lot with being so present on social media. It doesn't come naturally to me. And when like I have a social media manager, and she is always sending me cut downs of videos of myself, and I'm having to do lots of social content, and I'm not used to looking at so much content and things of myself. And there's a little like insecurity monster that's coming up, and I'm trying to like bat him away. But it does make you hyper aware of how you look. If it was up to me, I would not put a single thing on social media. I don't like showing anything, but it's part of the game. But be true to yourself. If you don't want your ass and your tits out, don't have your ass and your tits out, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And also, you're beautiful. Straight.
Any pressures that you felt like with the body surgery side of things?
No, I'd never do that. That's not me. My lips are too big already.
Hey. It hasn't stopped many people.
No, I know, but I couldn't. I also have the money. You think music pays?
People be finding that cash from somewhere. I don't know where. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not me. Amy got her boobs done, to be fair. But that's another conversation.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? So you are definitely a UK-based soul artist.
Yeah.
Whether it's UK soul or UK R&B, who are kind of, they're cousins. You know what I'm saying? They're not the same thing, but they're cousins.
Definitely.
I feel like over the years, success has been few and far between.
Yeah.
We can go back to like your Soul to Souls. You know what I'm saying?
Love.
Early 90s. Then you had Mark Morrison with a couple of hits. Then like you really like, you got your Shola Amars, you got your Beverly Knights. Then more recently you got like your Georgia Smiths, you got your Cleo Souls, you got like Mahalia doing her thing. But I mean, success has been few and far between. There's been a lot of artists. There's been Craig David. Do you know what I'm saying? But
I think the
again,
big one is Ray right now.
Ray as well, of course. But why do you feel like the do you feel like the success has been few and far between?
Yeah, massively.
But
Massively.
why do you feel like that has been like that?
If I'm being honest, I don't think that the UK market is open enough to soul music. I think in the States they're really like it, but I think they're a bit like, what do we do with this? Like, for me, but like with my voice especially, a lot of people are like, we don't know what this is. Like, what are you? Whereas in the US, they're a lot more open to things, I find. I don't know. I just think it's just good music will just cut through, and maybe if people are considering moving to the States for their career, do it. I'm not moving to the States for no man.
Because a lot of people say that's the solution for,
Yeah.
like, you know, if you're doing soul or you're doing R&B, to, like, you know, go to the States. Because what's her name, Ella May, she took that route.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she
Shea
found
Universe
success.
just moved,
There
I
you go.
think. St. Harrison moved as well. Yeah, and look, it works, but I do not believe I would be good in America for my own health.
So you think like it's an understanding over here of the music? Because, like, really and truly, like, I think London and the UK is given a credit for being very very musical.
Yeah.
And a lot of great music has came out of the UK and being, like, very, you know, pushing the envelope and influenced a lot of artists around the world. So why is it such a struggle with UK-based soul and R&B artists?
Honestly, I don't know, because, like, you're so true. The jazz scene here has just blown up. I think Ezra Collective has a massive thing to do with that, and now you're having, like, little pockets of jazz artists, like, really doing well. But I just don't know what it is. I have so much love for Cleo Soul, and that she's started to really make this lane for other artists. But again, you don't want, like, people to just copy it. You know what I mean? Like, she's done that. Someone else needs to do something else. I think, I don't want to keep chatting about her, but Amy was just a, like, quintessential mix of old school classic soul with hip hop beats, which was also quite commercial as well. And
But look who was behind her, though.
yeah,
Salam Remy, who was obviously an American producer.
Of course.
They were behind, like, the Fugees and, like,
And
you know,
Nas and
exactly.
Yeah. Look, I just think if there's qualities there, and if there's enough of an audience, then it will cut through. I do believe that.
Let's talk about this song, Painted Smiles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Tell people what you want people to take from this song, and maybe what they haven't, you know, you don't want people to misunderstand the song.
Yeah, I mean, this song was about it was a bit of a jab at the music industry and people being like, go in this tiny box, and I was like, no. And yeah, that was it. So like a lot of my first few years, I was like painting my smile on, was like agreeing to things, and then I was just like, I don't want to do that. I need to do what's true to me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, entering in the music industry as a new, you know, whether you're flipping DJ, presenter, artist, whatever you're doing, publicist, there has to be painted smiles.
Yeah,
you gotta play
definitely.
somewhat of a game. What have you seen as some of the biggest challenges entering this music industry and music showbiz? Like, what have been some of the biggest hurdles that you have had to try and overcome?
When I first started, trying to get in sessions with producers was so hard, because I would DM them. I had like a copy of text that I sent all of them, just like farmed out to loads of producers, and they'd come back and they'd be like, yeah, your voice is banging, but you haven't got any demos. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to get any demos if you won't let me into the studio? And it was just like this constant cycle of no one letting me in, and then finally someone agreed to a session, and then that was that. But I'm just being taken seriously. No one takes you seriously at the beginning, and I was like, oh, you're a singer, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Mad. But I give chances to artists, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hear your music and I know that you're in the earlier part. I don't know how early you would say that you're in, but you're in the early part of your music journey, and I actually think that there's not many platforms, DJs, radio stations that do give that actual chance to artists.
Yeah.
But you got to be able to hear talent and platform it, and I feel like that's important.
Yeah, massively.
You know what I'm saying? People's Watching is your debut EP.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Give everybody like the information on what they need to know about this project.
I wrote this about 1.5 years ago, and when I was writing it, I was in the mindset of, I'm not going to write love songs. I'm going to write about heavy stuff and everything that I see, and I'm gonna interpret everything that I see and make it into a project. And that's what I did. I'm like incredibly observant person, and I just loved people. I love to watch people. I love to speak to people. I love to know what they do, what makes them tick. I just love it. And this project kind of just became an extension of that, and it's just me being a bit of a nosy Parker, to be honest. But the next one is a lot more personal. But yeah, I'm like really into storytelling, and I want to tell people stories with no judgment. And that was my first project.
Younger is one of your standout tracks thus far. You worked with Dom Valentino.
I did.
Co-written and production-wise. Talk about your working relationship.
Dom is brilliant. Dom is like one of the best that we have, I really believe. And he's just a bit of an utter, and I love that. And we wrote it with Johnny Latimer as well, who writes a lot with like Joy Crooks and Olivia Dean. And yeah, it was just a really fun, easy process. It was a one session in and out. I just came into the studio. I was a bit annoyed by a situation. I wrote a song about it, and that was it. I
mean, Dom Valentino, he's worked with Green Tea Peng as well, Nia Smith and Skepta and a few other people. I feel like he's a bit of an industry secret.
Massively.
You know what I mean? Like, for those that don't know, like, really let them know what this guy's about.
Yeah, he is so talented, and he has a background in like soundscapes as well, I think, and is so aware of like the subtleties of music, and he's very much less is more. And yeah, he's just so talented and deserves all the flowers.
So what does success in the next 5 years look like for Olympia Vitalis?
I want a couple projects behind me. I'd love to do a nice big fat support tour for a nice big fat artist. And yeah, I'd love to go full time as well. That would be mad for me. And I'd love an album maybe I think 5 years. Yeah, I should have an album, shouldn't I?
For sure.
Yeah. And just keep doing what I love.
Do you have a collaboration wish list?
Yeah, I do. I've got a huge collaboration, like producers or
any artists, producers.
Mine's mainly producers. I want to work with Soundwave. I want to work with Demile. I want to work with basically all of TDE.
It's a very creative camp.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I'd love to work with Jid. Do you say JID or Jid? I say Jid.
Both. You can say Jid, JID. He started as JID, and then people just started calling him Jid.
Yeah. I also, my like massive guilty pleasure, he's not even a guilty pleasure, he's an amazing rapper, but I love Mick Jenkins.
Oh yeah, Mick Jenkins, man.
Yeah.
I've interviewed him as well, man. People don't really talk
about him
as much.
Have you interviewed him?
Yeah.
He doesn't get as much like his flowers.
I feel like,
I don't get
respectfully, I feel like his peak, when you have that boom, like you can have multiple peaks, but his boom was about 10 years ago. Yeah, exactly. The Waters, Martyr and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I think he's amazing, man.
Yeah,
and he works a lot with Emil, who's such a crazy producer. Oh, my list is too long, man. I'll be here all day.
What is it about TDE? You know what I mean? Like that really is, really sparks your interest. I might be stating the obvious. A lot of people are fans of TDE, but what about it? What about TDE is it for you?
I just think the producers that they have on their roster, like Carl Banks as well, they are just the best. Like, I love Monty Book as well. He's not part of TDB, but like they are just, for me, my taste down to a T. They're like proper musicians, like that. I just adore them. And obviously, I got introduced to TDE through Kendrick, but it's become so much bigger than that now. And obviously, Doechie's kind of flying the flag. I just think this is proper music, and
straight.
And the producers that they work with are so good. And yeah.
Listen, they say my interviews are hotter. I've just had a great conversation with Olympia Vitalis. You know what I'm saying? Listen, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, of course.
That was such a nice chat.
I think so too.
SK Vibemaker.